Hello everyone. We are going to see the core modules of Fedena today. So before that, we should know who all can log in into Fedena. So that would be the admin who will have all the privileges. Then we have the employee who would be the teachers or the librarians or anyone besides the students in your institutions. Then we would have the students who will have fixed privileges, and then the parents of the students. So these are the four kind of people who can log in into Fedena. So to log in as an admin for the first time, we need to enter username as admin and password as admin123, which is by default. So I'm logging in as an admin, and here I will get this screen. This is known as the admin dashboard. So you will see the boxes here. Each of this box is giving you some information about your institution. For example, who all are admitted students for today. I can even change the date to any previous date or any further date as well. So similarly, all the other dashlets are giving you some information, and you can manage dashlets by clicking on this link and selecting the ones that you would like to see on your dashboard. Then Fedena has a lot of functionalities, and those functionalities are divided into the tabs that you see here. So let us go to administration first, and let us go to settings to be able to do basic settings in Fedena. So we have to go to general settings. And here, these are the basic settings that we need to do to let Fedena know about our institution. So we have to fill in the name, address, and phone number of the college or the school. We have to select the attendance type. It can be either daily, which would mean every day in the morning and the forenoon, or it could be subject-wise, meaning based on the number of subjects each day. Then we would have the finance year start and end date, which is the fiscal year of your institution. Starting receipt number would be the one that will be appearing in the incomes that you get in Fedena. For example, fees collection. So for the first receipt that you generate, it will be SCHTW01. For the second one, SCHTW02, and so on. Language, time zone, country, and currency type would depend on the location of the institution. Then we have precision count, which is the number of digits that you want to see after decimal in the finance reports. We can upload the logo of the institution from here. We can select the grading systems. So with Fedena 3.3, we have ICSE, which is newly introduced. GPA, CW, and CCE were already there. So all these grading systems are available with Fedena. GPA stands for grading point average. CWA would be course weighted average. CCE would be comprehensive and continuous examination, and ICSE is Indian Certificate of Secondary Education. So as per your grading system, you can select the ones from here. And while creating the course, it will give us an option to select the right grading system. We can enable auto increment of student and employee admission number in case we want to generate admission number subsequently. For example, if I'm admitting a student with employee number with student admission number user 001, for the next time when I admit a student, the admission number would automatically be user 002. Then we have enable news comment moderation. So this means there is a news module in Fedena where anyone can comment. Now if you want those comments to be moderated by the admin or approved by the admin, you can select this option here. Then we have enable sibling. So in case you have students who are siblings in institutions, you can enable this option. So while admitting the student, it is going to give us an option to select the sibling of the student. Enable first time login change password would allow the first time users of Fedena to be able to change their password when they log in. So once we have done this, we can go to configuration, and now the next step is to create courses and batches. So here, first thing we need to understand what is a course and batch in Fedena. So courses would be, let's say if you're a school, the courses would be grade 1, grade 2 till grade 8. Another nomenclature would be standard 1, standard 2 till standard 8, or class 1, class 2 and so on. So these would be the courses. Now in each course you will have batches which will have students. So for example, for grade 1 course, you will have a batch, let's call it A 2014-15, denoting the academic year. So for grade 1, you will have batch A 2014-15. Another batch could be B 2014-15, C 2014-15, and so on. So these are the courses and batches that you will have for These are the courses and batches that you're going to have for grade 1. Now in case you're a university, your course would be, let's say, Mechanical Engineering Semester 1. And inside this, the batches would be A 2014-15, B 2014-15, and so on. So these are the courses and batches that you should have for your colleges or universities or schools. So let me show you how I've created this. So this is grade 1, that is a course that I've created. To create a new course, you have to click on this new button from here. And you have to give a course name. For example, let's say grade 7. You have to give a section name. In case of schools, section name is not required. You can leave it blank. So we can give some code here. And we can select the grading system that will be followed by this course. In case we want the students to be able to select some of their subjects, we can enable this elective selection from here. And we can create a batch like this. And we can define the start and end date of the batch as well. So this is the course that I'm creating, and inside the course I will be able to have batches. So this is one of the batch that I created while I defined this course. So you can see the nomenclature of the batch. It is code of the course dash A 2014. Let me add another batch. So we'll call it B 2014, and the start and the end date can be given. So this is how we are going to create batches inside a course. Now for a university also, I have an example here, which is Mechanical Engineering Semester 1. So what I've done here is I've given the section name as Semester 1. Unlike schools. In school, you do not have to mention any section name. In case of universities, you can use section name to define semesters. So once you've done this, you can have batches inside this course. So I will show you the batches that I've created. So the batches is A 2014. It is similar to what we did for the schools. So it means semester 1 for mechanical engineering might be having 2014 batch, 2015 batch, 2013 batch, and so on. So this is how we have to create the batches for university courses. This ME SEM1 is the code of this course, and A 2014 is the batch. So the full nomenclature of a batch is always the course name, the course code followed by the batch name. So this is how you have to create courses and batches in Fedena. The next step is to define subjects. So manage subject. And here we have to select the batch that we just created, so which is G7 8 2014. And there are two types of subjects that you can create in Fedena. Normal subjects, which means the mandatory subjects that all the students have to study in a class, or the elective subjects. So let me add a mandatory subject. Let's say mathematics is a mandatory subject with some code. And how many maximum weekly classes you would want for mathematics can be written here. Let me add another normal subject. Let's call it science. Maximum weekly classes can be defined. So these subjects have to be studied by all the students of G7A 2014. Then we have electives. So I'll first create an elective. So let's say games is an elective. And the last date to choose this elective would be 1 week from now. Now in this elective, this is an elective group that I've created. I need to create subjects. So I will be clicking on add, and let's say the subject is football with code and maximum weekly classes to be 4. If this elective does not have an exam, I can tick this. Let me add another elective. So once we have added these subjects, let me go back to the subject structure. So here I'll be selecting the batch, and this is the subject structure for this batch now. Now as an admin or a subject master, which is one of the privileges in Fedena, I can assign student to the elective subjects, or the student can assign himself to the elective subject because I've selected enable elective selection while creating the course. So this is how the subjects are to be created. Now the next important step is to manage the student category. So student category is the categories in which you want to distribute your students in a batch. For example, staff child is one category. Sibling in institution is another category of a student who is having a brother or sister in Fedena. Just remember that these categories have to be created based on the fee structure. It means that later on, if you wish to give discount to the staff children, you should create a category called staff children, because in Fedena we have an option to give discount on student categories. So while admitting the student, it is going to ask us to which category does the student belong. So I will show you that. Then we have add admission additional detail. Now this will be used in case you want to take some extra information from the student. For example, let's say you want to take the passport number of the student. So you have to give the name as passport, status as active. It means do you want it to appear in the admission form, whether this field is mandatory or not, and what is the input method. So what will happen is, along with all the other details that are already in the student admission form, Fedena is also going to ask the passport number. So I've created these fields, PAN number, passport number and CIN, which are active. So these three will be asked while admitting the student. I will show you that. So let us now add a student in Fedena. For that, we have to go to Academics, Students and Student Admission. And here, the admission number will be blank for the first time. So if you're admitting a student in Fedena for the first time, this admission number would be blank. Since I've already admitted few good number of students, it is showing me admission number which is auto-incremented. I can have an admission date which is past, present or future date, which can be changed from here. Then let me give some first name of the student. Middle name and last name can be given. Then we have to which course do I want to put this student in. So let's say I want to put him in G7A 2014 batch. I can select the other details as well. So this is the form that you'll get. And you will see it is asking for the category of the student. So here, let me select the student to be a staff child. Other details can also be filled. The next step it is asking is to assign a sibling to this student. For the first time in Fedena, since you will not be having any other student, so you can skip this step and it will ask you to enter the parent details of this student. So let me enter some parent details. So this guardian has been saved for this student. If you wish to add another guardian, the same form will appear and you can add another guardian. And in case you have more than one, it will give you an option so that you can use one of the parent logins to be able to see all the student profiles. What this means is, in case this student is having more than one ward in Fedena, he will be having only one login and he'll be able to see the profiles of both the wards in Fedena. Then we can have the previous educational details of the students here. So we can have the institution name, course, year and total marks. So these can be entered. And then we can add the subject. So for these details, we can have subject details as well. And you can see now it is asking for the additional details that I have created. So the important ones or all these details if you are creating can be entered. And once this is done, the profile of the student will be created like this. So this is how you admit students in Fedena. Now if you want to find the student, you can use the student details module. So you have to go to Academics, Students and Student Details. And here, let me find that student. You need to write the first three letters of the name or the admission number of the student. So when you click on it, the full profile will be available. Now this student will be able to log in using the username as user69, and the password by default is user69 followed by 123. So let me show you that. I'm going to log in as that new student, and since I've enabled first time login change password, it is asking the student to change the password. So once this is done, you will see the student will have fixed privileges. So the links that are available to the student are limited. Student can view his profile by going to Academics My Profile. Now for the login information of the parent, you will see the username of the parent would be P user69. So let me log in as the parent. Which is P user69 and P user69 123. Now here, again you will observe that the profile of the parent is actually similar to the profile of the ward, because if you see here, this profile is for the ward. If I go to Academics, if I go to My Profile, I'll be able to see the profile of the ward. In case I have more than one wards in the institution, I will show you how the profile will look like for that parent. So let me log in with this P user 6, which is one of the parents which I've already created in Fedena. And here, if you see, this is how he can switch between his wards. So all these are siblings and the parent is P user 6. So I can select one of the siblings and I'll be able to see the profile of that sibling. So it is providing me that view for each student. So this is how we can admit students. Next thing that we've left in settings is SMS module. Now for the first time, if you're using SMS in Fedena, this is how SMS will look like. You will have SMS settings link here. And when you click on this, you can enable it for your Fedena. It means you will be able to send SMS from Fedena. But before this, one important thing that has to be done is you have to go to accounts.fedena.com, which is your SaaS panel. You will have username and password for this. And after logging in, you need to make sure that the SMS settings are done properly. So for SMS settings, you have to contact a third-party provider and fill in the form that you get in the SaaS panel. And once you've done that, you can enable SMS for Fedena from here by ticking on this application and clicking on Update. Once you do that, it is giving you all these options. So the first four options that you see here, these are when automatic SMS will be sent from Fedena. It means that whenever a student is admitted, automatic SMS will be sent to the student telling him the login details. Whenever exam is scheduled or result is published, automatic SMS will be sent. When some student is absent, automatic SMS would be sent. And when you create events in Fedena, again automatic SMS would be sent. So the first four things that you see here, you will get automatic SMS from them. And the last three is when you want to manually send SMS in Fedena. So let me show you that. Once you click on update and you go back to SMS, you will see few other links that will appear besides SMS settings. So we can send SMS to students, batches, employees, or the department of the employees, which means bunch of employees together. Or we can send SMS to all. So this is like broadcasting a message. Let me show you for students. So I can select the batch. And the students who have their mobile numbers in their profiles will be showing active here. I can select them, write a message and send message. Similarly, I can do for a full batch, set of employees by the department or the full department. We can even view the SMS logs. So what is the SMS that was sent and what date? So this is an automatic SMS. You can see student admission done, username is this and password is this. So this is about the SMS module. We have done the configuration part fully. Now let's understand HR. So for HR, we have to go to administration and HR. So human resource module will be used when you want to manage the employees, which means creating employees, associating them with subjects, creating leaves, creating their payslips, searching the employees, generating the payslips and approving the payslips. So like we did for student, we need to do some setting for employee as well before admitting the employee. So we can first create employee category. Employee category would mean what is the type of the employee? Is he a teacher? So you can create a category like teaching. So you have to give the name as teaching, some prefix. Status would mean whether this will be appearing in the admission form of the employee or not. You can create other categories as well, like HR, temporary, warden, contract, housekeeping, and so on. Next thing is position of the employee in that category. So when I'm creating a category called teaching, there will be a position in that category. For example, a professor or a lecturer or a junior teacher or a senior teacher and so on. So for example, I've created a position called lecturer in the category teaching. So this is how you have to create positions. Then we have department of the employees. So department of the employees can be based on the subjects that are there in your institution. For example, biology department or mathematics department, English department, chemistry department and so on. Or it can be more generic as well, like you can only create academics or sports and so on. Then we have the employee grade. So employee grade denotes how many classes an employee can take per day and per week. So what I've done is I have created an employee grade with name grade 1, and I'm saying that any employee who I'll be assigning grade 1 can take maximum periods as 1 in a day and maximum period per week as 4. So this is going to help us create timetable for this employee later on. And priority would denote that this employee is more in seniority level than any another grade employee with priority, which is higher value of this. So lower the priority, more the seniority level. Let me show you another grade that I've created. Grade 2. So this has lesser priority. Maximum periods per day for this employee would be 2 and per week would be 6. So in this way you can create grades depending on how many maximum periods per week or per day you want to assign that teacher to. So this has to be done only for the teachers. So in the admission form, wherever I'm selecting the department to be teaching department, I can select the grade, otherwise I can leave it blank. Then we have the payroll category. So the components that you see in the payslip of the employee are the components of payroll. For example, there's a fixed component, let's say, called basic salary of the employee. So I can give that category name. Percentage and percentage off can be left blank because basic salary is an independent component. Then we can select the status and whether it is a deduction or not. Since it's an earning, I'll not be selecting this as deduction. Let me show you another category. Let's say dearness allowance DA, which is a dependent component on basic salary. So 8% of basic salary is what I'm going to select. And again, it's not a deduction, so I'm not selecting this. Let me show you a deduction. Let's say PF is some deduction, which is 12% of basic salary. And since it is a deduction, I'm ticking this. So what I'm actually doing is I'm creating a template for the employees. And while admitting the employees, I'm going to fill in these details for that employee. So this is how you can create the payroll category. Then you can add bank details. For example, account number. So these are the details that you want to take from the employee. Let's say you want to take the account number, you want to take the bank number, branch and IFSC code. All these details you wish to take from the employee. So you can create those fields here, and in the employee admission form, you will be asked these fields. Then the way we did for student, add additional detail for the employee. So let's say I want to take the passport number. So I'm going to create this field here, and if it is active, it will be appearing in the employee admission form. Now once we've done these settings, we can add an employee by going to employee management and employee admission. And for the first time, employee number will be appearing as E1. Since I've already admitted some employees, here it is showing me E31, which is auto incremented. I can give first name of some employee. So let me add an employee. And I can select all the other details as well. Now you will see here, it is asking for the department, category, and position of the employee. So I'll be selecting the department to which this employee belongs. What is the category? So let's say he's a teacher. And what is the position? So let's say he's a junior teacher. And since he is a teacher, I can assign him grade so that I can set the maximum periods he can take per week and per day. So let's say he's a grade 2 employee. We can fill in the other details as well. And these home address and office address contact details can also be filled. The next step it is asking is the bank detail of this employee. So I can enter the bank details. So these are the ones that I created earlier and they are appearing here. And then additional details for this employee can also be entered. And now this denotes what is the privilege that you want to give to the employee. It means what this employee should be able to do. For example, if I enable general settings for this employee, when I log in as an employee, I will be getting general settings links to be enabled and I'll be able to do general settings. If I give enter result privilege, this employee will be able to enter exam result for all the students. So these privileges can be selected based on the role of the employee in your institution. Then I can assign manager to the employee. So let me assign another employee as the manager of this employee. This is like a supervisor. Now we are assigning this manager so that this employee will be able to apply for leaves and only the manager can approve the leaves of the employee. This is asking for the pay slip details of the employee. For example, this was the fixed component. So when I'm entering this fixed component and I click outside, the dependent components will themselves get created. And you have another fixed components, you have to write them like this. So this is, you're generating the payslip structure for this employee. We are not generating the payslip as of now because for generating payslips we have to select the month. Here we are just defining the structure. Let me finish it. So once this is done, you will see that the profile of the employee is created. This employee will be able to log in with E31 as the employee ID and password as E31123. So let me show you that. So you'll see this employee will have limited privileges as per what I gave him. So in administration, I gave him settings. So you can see only settings are available, unlike the admin. So in this way, you can define privileges so that those particular links are available for the employee. So now let's go back to HR. And here we have done employee management and we have seen how to admit an employee. The next step is to associate this employee with a subject. So I will be selecting the batch and I'll be selecting the subject. And for this subject, I need to say which employee will be the teacher. So I'll be selecting department of the employee and assigning that employee to this subject. So the usefulness is that while creating the timetable, I'll be able to assign this employee in one of the classes of science of G7A 2014. You can assign more than one teacher to a subject. So this has to be done for each of the batch and for each subject in that batch. After you've done this, let's see how to manage leaves of the employees. So first we have to add the leaves. So for example, let's say I have a leave type called sick leave. Maximum leave count is 3 that I'm defining. It means an employee can take maximum 3 sick leaves. And the duration I will be defining in a separate setting. Enable carry forward would mean that I want to enable the remaining leaves in the next duration. So let me show you where I'm setting the duration. So you will go to this reset leave, and here you have to click on leave reset settings, and here you will have leave reset periods. So that is the number of months, that is the duration. So here the leave reset period denotes what is the duration. It means that an employee can take maximum 3 sick leaves in a duration of 4 months, starting this date. So this is the count begin date. And enable automatic reset means that he's going to get 3 sick leaves again after these 4 months are over. It means every 4 months, the employee will automatically get the maximum leave count. So you can enable automatic reset by selecting here. So every 4 months, it is automatically going to enable the reset and give the maximum leave count to the employee. Otherwise, you can manually do it using these 3 links. So you can reset all. It means you can reset the leave count of all the employees today. So the date on which you are doing it. Or you can do a department reset. Or you can do individual reset as well. So if I have an employee, I will be getting the leave details of that employee and I can reset the leave. So this is how you can add the leave types and do the leave reset settings. The next thing is attendance register of the employee. Now there are 2 ways in which employee can apply for leaves. The first way is through a leave application. So the employee has to log in into his profile and apply for leave. He can set the duration there and the manager has to approve it. This is one of the ways. Another way is, let's say because of some reason employee was not able to apply for leaves in Fedena, so he can tell the administrator to mark him absent on behalf of the employee. So as an admin, I'm going to open the profile. I'm going to select the department and open all the employees here. So this is the register that will appear. And let's say this employee will be absent for some date, which is 13. So it is asking what is the leave type that he wants to avail. So let's say sick leave and reason can be mentioned. And half day would denote that 0.5 of the leave would be deducted instead of 1. So I can submit this. So this is the way admin can mark an employee absent on behalf of the employee in case employee is not able to apply for leave. And this report of absenteeism can be seen by going to attendance report, selecting department, and here we can see which employee has taken how many leaves and under what type. So for example, this employee has taken 3.5, 3.5 casual leave. So this is about employee leave management. Then we can create the payslip of the employee. So here, first we have to select the employee. So let me select the department and what is the employee for whom I want to create the payslip. So you will see these details I've entered for this employee when I was admitting this employee. Now if you want to add any bonus or any particular which is dependent on the month, for example some LOP, loss of pay, that name of the category, amount and deduct whether it is a earning or a deduction can be selected from here. Now here you will see salary date. This is the date on which you are generating the payslip of the employee. So you can change that date from here as well. What it means is that you can generate the payslip for future months or previous months. So it allows you both the options. So here I'm generating the payslip for the month of December for this employee. Once I generate it, the flow in Fedena is that this has to go for approval of a member of finance. It means that generation of payslip will be done by HR and approval will be done by a member of finance. So I will go to administration, finance, and here payslip option will be appearing. So I have to first view the payslip. So let me select for the month of December for all the departments. So I have already generated few payslips, so it is showing like this. So I will be able to see for this employee number 3, serial number 3, E31, and you will see the payslip status, it is showing as pending. So I can view the payslip, and as a member of finance, I can either reject or approve the payslip of this employee. So let me show you what happens when you reject it. When a member of finance will reject it, he has to give a reason, and this remark will be available to the member of HR so that he can correct it. So the member of HR will go to create payslip, rejected employee, select the department and edit the details of the payslip of this employee. So I can edit a field here and I can again generate it. So now let me approve it as a member of finance. So here I can go to view and approve it. So once this is approved, it will be appearing in the finance report in Fedena. Let me show you that. So the amount here is 42K. So let me go to finance, and you will see a link here, finance reports. You have to click on that report, and you have to select the duration. Let me select from first, and you will see that the salary account is having some expense. So this is because, and I can see the details as well from here, which department. For example, the department that I used right now was science. So you can see 42K is appearing here, which is added as an expense. So I was saying that salary account is showing as an expense because I've approved the salary of so many employees in these departments. So that is the reason why salary account is showing an expense, and in finance reports you will be able to track both the incomes and the expenses of your institution. And by default there are few categories that are already tracked. The one that I showed you was salary account. Another is fees account, which will be as an income. So this is about finance reports. Let me go back to HR. And here we have done creation of payslip. Now one way, as I showed you, is to select an employee and create the payslip of each employee. Another way is you can do that in one click. So you can click on this one click payslip generator, and here you can select the month for which you want to generate, and it is going to generate the payslip of all the employees for that month. In case you've made a mistake while generating a payslip, you can use one click payslip revert. Now please note here that once the payslip of an employee is approved, it cannot be reverted. So this option is only for the pending payslips. So you can revert only the pending payslips and not the approved ones. Then we can search the employee. So we have this reports option as well, where let's say I want all the employees who are in the teaching department. So I'll get a list like this. So this advanced option that you have in employee search helps you not only search the employee but also get few reports. Then we can view the employee payslip. So the status of the payslips can be viewed, whether they are approved, whether they are rejected, what is the approved salary, and what is the total salary. So this is fully about HR. Let me tell you about timetable. So now timetable module is used to set timetable of the batches, to assign teachers, to check the timetable of the teacher. So let's start by creating weekdays or setting weekdays of the institution. So now if all the batches of your institution are following a common set, you can select that set from here. In case one of the batches is following a different weekday set, you need to select that batch and select that, deselect or select that weekday. So this is how you're setting the weekdays. Setting of weekdays would mean that attendance would be applicable only on these weekdays for the students. Then we have set class timing. First, let me show you what is a class timing set. So this is how a class timing set would look like. So for each day, what are the timings? For example, 9:30 to 10:30 is one class, 10:30 to 11:30 and so on. So we are setting the class timings. Now to do that, you have to click on this class timing sets and click on new, and you need to give the name of the class timing. For example, class timing for a particular batch. Once you've created that, it is going to appear along with the list, and you can add periods or classes to that class timing set by giving proper durations. Here you will see that class timing set I have to create by clicking on new, and I just have to give the name. Once I give the name, it is going to appear here, and in front of it I'll have class timings, and I'll get this option add here, using which I'm adding the periods. So this is how I have to create the class timing set. And once I've done that, I need to say to which batch is going to follow these timings. So for that, I'll go back to manage class timing sets, select the class timing set that I just created, and assign the batch to it. So I have to select them and click on this arrow to be able to assign. So it means these three batches are going to follow 9 to 10, 10 to 11, the class timing that I've set here. So once you have done this, let's see how to create timetable. Now let's say your academic year starts from Jan 2015 to December 2015. So you have to select that dates here. So 5th January 2015 to, let's say, 12th December 2015 should be selected here. So once you have done that, you can view the timetables by going to edit timetable, and that timetable period will be appearing for you here. It will only be one. So the timetable duration would be like 5th Jan 2015 to 12th December 2015. And once you click on it, you have to click on edit entries, and on the batches between that duration will be appearing, and for the batch I can create the timetable like this. So let's say this is a batch which is having this class timing set, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 10 to 12 and 2 to 3. And now for this batch I need to assign teachers who will be teaching. So using employee subject association, I might have assigned for mathematics this employee and this employee. So both of these are appearing. Now let's say I want mathematics to happen at this time, and this time. So here I'm going to drag and drop one of the employees in one of the cells, and it is going to automatically populate the other ones. So let me do it for another subject. So I'm going to drag and drop this here. So this is how you have to create the timetable for the batch. Once you've created the timetable, you can view this timetable. So you have to select the duration, the batch, and you can get a PDF report of it as well. Then you have the option to see teacher timetable. So it means who all teachers are busy at what all timings on a particular date, and what is the subject they are taking and in what batch. So this is the teacher timetable. And then we have the institutional timetable. So for today, what all batches are having what all classes will be shown. So you can see the date here. I can scroll and see it for another date as well. So it shows for what all the batches here, and if timetable entry were there for those batches, it will be showing the timetable details like for this batch. So this is the timetable of the institution. And after this we have timetable tracker. So timetable tracker is used when you want to swap a teacher with another teacher because the teacher was not available to take the subject that she was assigned. We can go to swap timetable, select the batch, and for a particular date we'll be able to swap. So let me select the one that has a timetable. And here, let's say this mathematics, this employee Darcy will not be able to take this mathematics. So I can select another employee, let's say Sahil, for this subject. So you can see I'm swapping the teacher here. And this report can be obtained by going to swapped timetable report. So here you can see that this employee has taken one less period than she was assigned, and this employee has taken one more. I can even view the details. What are the swapping details can be viewed from here. So whenever you make a change in swap timetable, the same is not reflected in the original timetable. That is why we have this report here. And it is not reflected because it is not as per the schedule. You've done this change at the last moment. So it will not be reflected in the timetable that we created. So you can see these details that have come up. And you can see for a particular duration as well. So it is going to show you the details like this. Then we have classroom allocation. So this is used when you have a big institute and you have buildings and classrooms and you want to assign classrooms to the batches. So you can create buildings first. So you have to click on add building and you just have to give the name of the building there. And when you do that, you are going to get that building here. You have to click on that building and you have to click on add rooms. For example, I'm adding a room called W4 with the capacity of students as 100. Now once I've done that, I can add more buildings and more rooms and I have to allocate. Now allocation can be either weekly or date specific. So weekly would mean I will be selecting the timetable duration. So let's say for you it is January to December. So when you click on view, you will be getting this. And here you have to set the classrooms for a week and it is going to repeat for the duration of your timetable. For example, for Monday, I'm setting for G5A 2014 N1 as the classroom. So this is the building, and when I select the building, I'll get the rooms, and I'll be able to drag and drop and assign for a particular subject for a particular batch. So let's say N1 for chemistry. Similarly, I have to do for Tuesday until Friday. Once I've done that, it is going to repeat automatically for the duration of the timetable. If it is from January to December, for all the weeks it is going to follow this. This is one way, which is weekly. Another way is date specific. So I have to set it for the full duration of the timetable. So I'll be getting all the dates here. I need to set them for all the dates. And the last thing that we missed here is work allotment. Work allotment is similar to employee subject association. If you see here for this batch G5A 2014, I have, using employee subject association, I have assigned these employees to these subjects. Now the extra thing that you see here is OK, remaining and deficit, which are the three terms that we are going to see now. So let's say there is an employee who is a grade 2 employee. That means he can take maximum weekly classes to be 6. And let's say he is assigned to mathematics, which has maximum classes per week to be 6. In this case, the employee is taking the right number of classes because he was supposed to take 6 as per his grade, and the subject to which he is assigned has 6 maximum weekly classes. So 6 minus 6 would be 0, which would denote OK here. Now let's say the employee is a grade 1 employee, meaning that he is going to take less number of classes. So let's say 4, but he is assigned to mathematics, which has 6. In this case, he'll be overworking, or he'll have 2 deficit. So that is the term deficit. And the third situation is when the employee grade is grade 3, meaning he would take 8 maximum weekly classes, but he is assigned to 6. So 8 minus 6 would be 2. It means he can take 2 more or 2 remaining. So this is about work allotment. So we've covered timetable fully. Let me tell you about student attendance now. So we have to go to academics, attendance. And here we have to go to attendance register. We have to select the batch. And here I'll be able to mark attendance for the student. The student is only one. Let me select a batch that has more students. So this is how it is going to look like. In Fedena, by default, everyone is present. If you want to mark someone absent, then only you will be coming to this attendance register. For example, let's say the student, Denver, is absent on this date, 10th of December. So I can select that, click on that cell, give a reason, and forenoon and afternoon, denoting whether he was absent for the full day. Once I've done that, you will see a cross will be appearing on that cell, denoting that this student is absent. In case you do not want to give the reason every time you want to mark someone absent, you can tick on this rapid attendance. And you can click on the cell, for example, and you will see it is automatically marking absent and not asking for reason. And I can see the report by going to attendance report, selecting the batch and selecting the mode, and it shows that the total number of working days is 53 and how much the student has attended and what is the percentage. So this is about the attendance of the student. Then we are going to see finance. So we are going to go to administration and finance. So the first thing is configuring the fees. So we have to create the fees. Now creating a fees would, let's take an example. Let's say we have a fees for, let's say, grade 1. Now there we are going to have two particulars, tuition fee and let's say registration fee. So first what we are going to do is we are going to create a category that I just told, which will be fee for grade 1. Now it can be for more than one batch as well. So in case your batches are having a similar fee structure, you can select the batches from here. So let me say my grade 1, both the batches are having the same fee structure. So I'm going to select both of them. And then I'm going to create particular in this category that I just created. So my category was here. And I can select the batches and I can give the name of the particular like tuition fee. And I can select whether that tuition fee is applicable for all the students of the batch or by admission number or by the category of the student as well. So if I do like this, it would mean that this tuition fee 200 is applicable only for staff children. So this option is also available. Let me create another particular. So this is how you can create particulars, and then you can create discounts. It means, let's say, to some student category or a batch or a student. So you can give discounts to a full batch, category of student or a student itself. Let me select it for a student category for this fee structure and for staff children. So what I'm saying is that for discount, I need to give discount on staff children of this batch, let's say 50, which is an amount. It can also be a percentage of full fees. I can give a proper name here. And I can create it. So what we are doing is currently we are creating template till discount. Now let's create find template. Then we are going to see how to schedule the fees and take the fees. So this find template would mean in case the student is not paying the fee on time. For example, I'm setting the days after due date to be 1. It means if the student is paying the fees after 1 day of due date, he will be charged 500 as the amount on extra amount on his fees. After 2 days, 1000 and so on. You can add the fine slabs. So this we have created the template. Now let's schedule the fee collection. So we can click on create fee collection, select the category that we just made, give it a name. Let's say it is January collection. and we can select the fine that will be applicable to this collection. And here we are setting the start date, end date and due date. Now generally end date and due date would be same, but in case you want to give a gap of 1 or 2 days between them, you can select from here because the fine would be applicable only after the due date. So let me create it. Now once I've created it, I can collect the fees from the students. So I can go to this collect the fees option, and there are 3 ways in which I can collect the fees. So let's see the first one. So we have to select the batch. We have to select the fee collection that we just created, and this is how it is going to look for the student. So we will see for this student, these are the particulars that I've created. This is the fine. Since I'm showing you another fee collection for which the fine date has exceeded, due date has exceeded, so it is showing fine as well. And this student has to pay this much amount. And these are the payment modes that can be selected, and these are going to be appearing in the receipt of the student. So the amount here can be the full amount or it can even be the partial amount. So we'll see this payment will get recorded like this. So this amount that the student can pay can either be the full amount or the partial amount. I can scroll like this to see for other students. And this is how the fees can be paid for each student. So this is one of the ways. Another way is for each student. So you have to search the student and you can do fee collection wise payment. So the collection will be appearing. So I can have Jan collection, Feb collection and so on. And here you will see this is how it look like if the student has not paid the fees, let's say. And since the student is a staff child, you can say discount is also shown here. The another way is pay all fees, where all the collections will appear together and full fees for the full academic year can be paid. Then we have the third way, which is particular wise fee payment. So I'm going to select the student, and here I'll be selecting the collection, and here you will see that I'm given an option to add discount to each particular. So the discount that is applicable is 500 and I can distribute it between these particulars or assign the full amount to one particular. That is also possible. So then this is how we can collect the fees. The another way is fee structure. So we can view the fee structure of a student. We just have to find the student. We can select the fee collection, and this is how the structure will look like. We can take a PDF report as well. Then we have fees defaulters. So the students who have not paid the fees in a particular batch will be shown here. For example, for this course and for this batch, for this fee collection, all those who have not paid the fees are shown here. Then we have fees refund. So if we want to return a part of the fees which is already paid by the student, we can use this. So we have to create a refund rule first. It is asking what is the fees that you want to return. So let's say this is the fees. And what is the name of the refund? So let's say it is special security deposit refund, let's say. And refund validity would be starting when you can issue this refund to the students. And here one limitation as of now in Fedena is that you can return only a percentage of this collection. So it can be 100% as well, 50%, 20% and so on. So let me say 2% and I can create it. So once I've created this refund, I can apply it. So I'll be selecting the fee collection here and let's say I'm paying the fees. So the fees is paid for the student. Let me also pay the rest amount. So the fees is fully paid for the student or yeah, we have paid all the particulars. So now let's go and refund the fees for the student. And here I'll be selecting the fee collection. Now in case there is a refund rule that I would have applied on this collection, since I applied on another collection, so it is not showing amount to refund here, but otherwise it will be automatically calculating it as 2% of this fees and the amount will be appearing here. An option to pay will also appear here. So this is how we can do fees refund and we can view the refunds from here. You can for a particular date, let me select some date here. We can view who has refunded and what is the amount. So this is about fees refund. And then we have student fees headwise report, which is a new part with Fedena 3.3, where we can view the detailed report for a batch. Who are the number of students and what is the fee collection that is applicable to them, how much amount they have paid and how much amount is left to be paid, and if any discount is available on them. So all these can be selected from here. And then we have fee collection wise report, which is similar, but it will show you all the collections like Jan collection to December collection that you have. And you can select that collection and it will show you the collection wise details. And the third one is we can find the student and view how much he has paid, how much he is yet to pay. So these are the reports that are available. So now let's go to finance reports once again. And here I told you that these are the categories that are already tracked in Fedena. In case you want your own category as an income or an expense to be shown, to be tracked here, you have to go to finance and you have to go to category and you have to create that category here. So let's say you want a category, you want to have income till now, you want to put income till now in Fedena because you've just started using Fedena, but your institution already has some income and expense. So you can create that category here, and you can add transaction in this category by going to transactions and here add income. So let me select that income till now category which I just created, and let's say this is the income account, and let me give some account. So now I can view that. You will see that I can view that by going to finance reports, report, and besides the categories that were already coming, income till now is also appearing and my report is coming correctly. So in the same way I can even add an expense, and it's going to subtract and show you the grand total. Then we have automatic transaction. So this is used when you want to cut a part of the income that you're getting. It means you are not getting the full part of the income in the institution, but you want to get a part of it. For example, whenever someone is doing donation in Fedena, you want to cut 5% of it as tax. So that automatic transaction can be set here. So we are selecting the category. The category are the incomes that we've created. Donation is coming by default, and these two are what is created by me in category. I can select the percentage and what is the type of automatic transaction. Now let me do a donation. And I can give the amount to be 100. So now let's see the report. So if you see the donation amount, it is 95 instead of 100, because if you see the details by clicking on it, 5% of it is cut as a tax and your institution is only getting 95. So in case this scenario is applicable to you, you can use the concept of automatic transaction. Then we have seen payslip. Payslip is used by the member of finance to be able to approve the payslips of the employees. Then we have asset liability management. So you can manage the assets, for example, the furniture that you have, by clicking on add there and adding this asset along with the amount. Similarly, you can do for the liabilities as well. These assets and liabilities currently will not be a part of finance reports. So this module is an independent module in Fedena as of now. So you can view the assets and liabilities and you can take a PDF of it from here. So this is about finance. Let me tell you about examination module of Fedena now. So we have to go to examination and we have to go to settings. So first is we have to set the grading levels. So here we are setting the grades. For example, A is the grade. What is the minimum score? It means 90 and above would denote A. And credit points would be shown in case you have CWA, GPA or CC enabled in the settings. In case your batch is following a different grading set, you need to click on that batch and click on add grades the way I have done. So I've added all these grades because these are dependent, these are different for this batch. So once we have set the grading level, we can set the ranking levels and class designation now. So now we can set the ranking levels. Ranking level would mean, for example, let's take this example. We have in kindergarten 1 top performers who will be having minimum 95% marks in at least 4 subjects. So I am categorizing the students in a course. So I have given a name of ranking level to be top performer, and I have given marks and limit, so it can be either lower, upper or exact. Lower would mean minimum, upper would mean maximum, and exact would mean as what you write here. And number of subjects again has a limit. So it means that anyone in kindergarten 1 who is having in minimum 4 subjects at least 95% marks would be categorized as a top performer. So in this way I have created another ranking level, high performer. So all these ranking levels can be created because later on they are going to help us create reports. Then we have class designation, which is similar to creating a ranking level, but here we do not mention the number of subjects. So here I am just giving first class, second class and so on. There are no number of subjects. So this would mean anyone in kindergarten 1 would be categorized as second class student if he has minimum 80% marks overall. So again using this we can get reports. CC settings and ICSE settings are dependent on the grading level. These will be dealt in a separate webinar. The webinar is also posted already. You can go to support.fedena.com and there you can come below to the end of the site and you will see here module videos, and when you open it you can find CC. So this is the video about CC, and you can even find ICSE. So these are separately covered in different videos. You can have a look at them in case they are applicable to your institute. Then we have to create exams. So exam management. You have to select the course and we have to create exams. For example, let's say there are 2 exams that are happening in a year, which is term 1 and term 2. So we can click on new and let's say we give it a name like unit test 1. And what do you want for this exam to be appearing on the report card of the student? Is it only marks or grades, or both marks and grades can be selected from here? Now when you do this, it is going to ask you for the maximum mark, minimum mark, and it is going to add the same in the subjects. So what we are doing here is we are creating the schedule of the exam of the subjects for this exam type. So you can select the start time, end time. Similarly, this can be selected appropriately as and when the exam is happening. So let's say we have created this exam. Now we can publish the exam schedule. Now when we publish the exam schedule, it will be available in the calendar of the student. So there is a module called calendar which can be reached by going to academics and calendar. And here you will see that here there are labels. For example, what all examinations are going to happen. what all fees dues are there. So student as well as parent can view the same calendar. Now since when I'm going to publish it here, this will become a part of that calendar. So you will see that here along with fees due, I also have exams for 2 subjects that I just created. After you have published the exam schedule, you can enter the result. Let's assume the student has written this exam. I can enter the result for it. I can give some remarks which will be available in the report. So this way, let's say I have added all the marks. I can publish the exam result. Once I publish it, it will be available in the reminder in the mail of the student. So this is internal mailing system of Fedena. Student and employee will also have this. Whenever exam is published, he's going to get a reminder in his inbox. So let me show you for a batch that I've already created. So this is the batch. Let's say this has 5 exams for the full academic year. Now let's say I want to give weightage to 2 of these exams which will be applicable in my final report, which is term 1 and term 2. So I can assign weightage like this. So connect exams is used when you want to assign weightages to the exams that you created. Once you've done that, once you've connected the exam, you can generate the report so that you can see the report. So you have to select the batch for which you just connected the exams and click on generate. Once you do that, you can go to Report Center and view the reports. So all these reports are available. So let me show you few of the reports like exam-wise report. So I'll be selecting the batch, exam group, and this is how the exam-wise report will look like. So this is for one of the exams, unit test 1 for this student. Can change the student by clicking like this. So you can see it is showing how much marks is obtained, what is the grade, what is the percentage, class average, and remarks can be added. So this is also the new module in Fedena. So let's say it is remarked by, let's say, so this will be appearing like this. You can also see the graphical view of the performance of the student here. So this is exam-wise report. Then we have subject-wise. So we are based on each subject, we can see. So in all the exams, all the 5 exams, how much is the marks for this subject for each student. Then we have grouped exam. So for all the exams together, so this is the combined marks in science. And then we have student rank. So we can see the rank of the student in a batch. This can be viewed for a batch or also for the full course. So for all the batches together, we can even see it for the full school. We can see the attendance, ranking of attendance as well. Then we have ranking level report. So as I told you, here there are ranks that I've created for this batch, which is top performer, high performer, and so on. So if I want to get a list of all the top performers, I can select like this, and if any student is meeting this criteria of top performer, that student details will be appearing here. Then we can view the transcript. So it shows the combined for all the courses that the student has taken. Then we have CCA and ICSE reports that are already covered in the videos that I just showed you. So these are covered along with the settings. So this is about exam. Now we're left with few small modules. Let's complete that. So let me start with academics. We have done attendance. We have seen calendar of the student or the employee. We have seen examination. We have seen remarks. Let's see remarks as we can give to a student. So we can add custom remarks. We can select the course. So let's say here. Now as an admin, I'll be getting all these options. So I'll be getting all the courses. But if I log in as an employee, I'll be getting only those courses for which I'm the teacher. Since I'm an admin here, I'm getting all the courses. So I can remark student of any course. So here I'll be selecting the batch, and let's say there is some activity that has happened. Let's say class project, and here I can say the remark is from science tutor, and I can give remarks to all the students, or I can select the students and give it. Now these remarks that I'm giving, they will be visible to the students in their profile. So let me log in as one of the students. And the student has to go to his profile by going to academics. And here more and remarks. And all the remarks that are given to the student will be shown like this. So this is the remark that I just gave. So this is about the remarks module that is newly introduced with Fedena 3.3. We can even view the remarks for a particular batch. So all the remarks that are given for a particular student can also be viewed. They can be edited or deleted. As an admin, I can do this. Then we have students, which we have already seen. We have seen timetable. Let me go to collaboration. Let's see what is event creation. So event creation is used when you want to declare an event that is going to happen in your institution. For example, let's say Christmas celebrations, or let's say a holiday. So there are two types of events. It can be a general event, Christmas celebrations, Teachers' Day and so on, or it can be a holiday. So in that case, we have to select the start and end date. We have to give some, let's say it's a holiday, we have to give some title, we have to give some description, and we need to select whether that event is a holiday or not. If it is a holiday, you will not be able to mark attendance for that day in Fedena. So that is when you should be selecting holiday, and whether that event is common to all. If it is common to all, you can select this. Otherwise, you can click on create event, and on the next screen, it is going to ask you to select the batch and the department, so the students and the employees for which it is applicable. So let me select a batch and save it. And once I confirm it, this event, I'll be able to see it in the calendar. So you can see the calendar appears. And here for this date, I've created this event, which is a holiday. So it is appearing like this. You can even go to event creation module from calendar itself. So you can see I'm hovering over this cell and I'm getting this option to add. And click on add, I get the same screen of event creation. Then we have news. So news is a general news that you want to publish to all the users. I can publish this news, it will be available for all the users. Even if I log in as a student or an employee, I can leave comment. So in this way, anyone can comment on news. So this is about collaboration. Then let's see some reports. So here, let's see all the courses in the institute. So it is giving me all the list of the courses. What is the section, if any, number of batches, number of students, and male and female students. I can see the batch, start and end date, who is the tutor, who is the class teacher is also visible here. I can see all the students, what is the admission number, to what batch do they belong, what is the gender, and whether they have paid the fees or not. And then I can see the list of all the employees. Then we have course batch details, which is similar to what we saw here. Former student details, so all the students who have left Fedena. So if you're deleting or removing a student, it will be appearing here. Former employee details, in case an employee is leaving your institution, it will be appearing here. Subject details, so what all subjects are there and in what batch they are happening can be seen from here. We can even see only normal subjects or elective subjects. Then employee subject association, so which employee is taking what subject and in what batch. Then we have employee payroll details. So the employee name, what are the payroll categories that are applicable for the employee. Exam schedules. So which exam is happening on what time for which batch. Fee collection details. What are the collections, start and end date, due date, and for what batch. Fee defaulters. So all the students who have not paid the amount for a particular collection. So this is for the full school. The one we just saw was for a batch. This is for the full school. Then we have the student fees headwise report, which we've already seen, which we saw in finance. So these are the reports that are available. Now let's see in administration. We've done finance, we've done human resource and settings, and let's see user. So user is the module which is used when you want to edit the privileges or change the password of some employee or parent or student. So let me select an employee. Let's say this is an employee E4. And here I can view the profile, I can change the password of this employee, or I can edit the privilege. Let's say I want to give her some other privilege than what she is already given. So I can select that privilege and I can assign her. So this is how you can edit the privileges of employees in Fedena by using the user module. Then what the last thing is the profile of the admin himself. So you have to click on this avatar here, click on admin user, and here you will be getting these details of the employee, of the admin, and admin can change password for himself by clicking here. Admin can view his profile by clicking here. And the last thing about Fedena is this reminder or inbox module, where I can create messages, send it to employees, send it to students, and this module is applicable for everybody in Fedena. So this is the internal messaging system in Fedena. Then you will see the search bar here, using which I can search events, actions, people. For example, let's say there is a student user 4. So I can click on this search students user 4 and I'm going to get all the matching criteria. And I can click on one of it to view the profile. And of course, quick links. So if you're accessing some links, most of the time you can put those links here. You can go to manage quick links and you can select the ones that you want. So this is fully about the core modules of Fedena that we've done today.